money is a team game in marriage. Like,
Exactly.
you can be able to save if the other person
Yes.
Well, we are in the kitchen once again with Mike and Diane,
Yes.
and Dan and Danielle,
Right.
and money. Yeah.
It's all about money today.
That is a big topic, and usually a pretty big reason for some conflict in marriage.
You know
huh?
what, you guys? Studies have shown that conflict in marriage over money, these fights are usually more intense and they last longer than any other topic that we
I
fight
agree.
about.
I believe it.
It's really, really serious. And it's something that you need to get on the same page about early on if you can, so that as you're building your marriage, your life together, you've got some good guidelines to take you through it. But even as old couples, we can learn a thing or two.
Because a house divided, the Bible says, you can't stand, you know, and this is something that really divides people. But it was interesting to hear Shanti explain there that it's really a clash of values, isn't it? Because you value one thing differently than someone else does. I heard another marriage teacher that was on our show.
Neil and Cheryl Josephson.
Yeah, they talked about these money motivators, and some people are motivated by enjoyment, some by security, and, you know, money is a security thing, some by status, because you know it's you want that status of buying the nice things, and others just by the power of it, being in control, making all the decisions for the family, you know, having that power
Instead of a shared thing.
and so somehow we need to put aside, you know, pride and selfishness, and try to get on the same page, and use, as they were saying, empathy, and get into the other person's mindset. What is it? Why do you want to buy that or do this? And so, we need to talk
What do
about
you think,
this.
guys?
I know when Mike and I were dating and about to get married, we had the discussion about finances because neither one of us grew up with a whole lot, right? So it's not a whole lot of money involved, right? But we had the conversation about what both of us wanted, what we expected, you know, in life and in our marriage. And I remember Michael was asking me, so what kind of debt do you have, right? And I was just in school and thinking, oh boy, well, I've got some student loans. And so, but he had enough wit to say, okay, so how much do we have in loans? Let's try to take care of all of this now so that later we don't have to deal with any of this. And that's what we did right at the beginning of our marriage. He made sure that the loans got taken care of, whatever credit card debt.
We made sure.
Whatever credit card debt we had,
Yeah.
we made sure that we got it paid off because we wanted a clean slate going in and to be on the same page in our marriage with our finances to give us that hand.
You know what? I love that Mike said to you, we have these debts to pay
Yes.
off. It's not you are bringing this into the marriage,
right.
Diane, and
That's
so
right.
how are you going to handle it? I'll try to
Right.
help you if I can.
Right.
No, it's we have this that we need to take care of.
The team.
I love that.
Yes.
And from the very beginning, we shared bank accounts, right? So it's not your money, my money.
That's right.
It's our money, right? And this is how we spend it, or we consciously make the decisions on how we spend it. And when you talk about that whole list of things, what happens if they like all of those things?
Then you're in trouble.
You're in trouble now. I don't know. I got nothing.
It was interesting to me to the emphasis on realizing that what the other person values matters too. So the idea of seeing it through their eyes a little bit more, and basically just listening. The idea of listening to understand, well, why do you value, you know, a fancy vacation, whereas I value, you know, our 401k or whatever it is, whatever if it's a spender and whatever. And the idea of actually listening to hear why that's important to them, rather than sitting there kind of, well, Gary Chapman somewhere on the line in one of these shows said, sitting there loading your gun.
Yeah.
So you're not really listening, but you're like, you're loading your gun because you're ready to, answer for
Fire
why
back.
that's the wrong thing
Yeah.
to value. And so just realizing the other person has valid things that are important to them, and it's part of probably of the fabric of their upbringing and everything that makes
And
them
there's-
think that way.
There's not one thing that's better. A spender isn't better than a saver. Saver isn't vice versa.
Yeah, there's wisdom in the mix of those things,
Right.
but both approaches have value, and there's heartstrings. That's why money is such a thing. There's such heartstrings with our money. Where our treasure is, there our heart is too. So
Yeah, I actually heard Rachel Cruz, who is Dave Ramsey's daughter, say that money is just a magnifying glass. So if you are kind and generous, then money will make you more kind and generous. But if you are kind of a jerk, money will make you a bigger jerk, more of a jerk.
Yeah.
And the people that are affected by that the most are the family, are the spouse and the kids. And so, we also need to, as we said, make money and marriage a partnership. Because I can't think of any month when looking back in our life, in our 20 years, that we were really winning with money when we weren't communicating about it, when we weren't budgeting, when we weren't both involved and saying what we valued and when we weren't just being proactive.
money is a team game in a marriage. Like,
Exactly.
you can be able to save if the other person
Yeah,
is.
it is more,
crazy.
I think we've found it's more of a unifying thing than anything else, because as Dan referenced, Matthew talks about where your treasure is, your heart will be. And so it's passionate and it's, we're emotionally charged about it because our treasure, what we value,
That's right.
our money's there. So when I am saying, okay, honey, you value this, I'm giving up a little bit of my wants and my needs to say, I value what you want, and I value
And vice
us
versa,
together and our
right?
legesy. Yeah.
Because where your treasure is, there your heart is. It's cyclical. It's not a chicken or egg, which one comes first. It's both. So
Right.
where your heart is, you put your treasure there because your heart's there. But then where you start putting your treasure, your heart goes follows it.
really
back.
where your heart
right.
is.
It's
That's it.
cyclical.
Yeah.
Right.
And it could be that you value good things. You both value really good things.
Yeah.
It's not that he just wants to spend money on a sports car that she really hates or anything like that. It could be really good things. You just have to decide, okay, is this worth the fight over? Like, for example, Ron, we were
What
cleaning.
example are you
Here we go.
We were cleaning out the storage room in the basement here at our house, and Ron came across a whole bunch of VHS tapes. Now, this is going back in the day.
Old
Old
camcorder
tapes.
stuff.
We hadn't seen these in years, and I mean, we're talking 20 plus years. And so Ron, unbeknownst to me, he called a company, he brought all the tapes, and he had them all digitized. Without talking to me. Now, yeah, wow, wonderful. But then we get the price tag. Now, I'm not going to tell you how much it was, but just that you could probably make a car payment and a half on it, kind of thing. Like it was, it wasn't cheap. So, but for Ron, that was an important investment.
In
Right.
memories and family.
In our
and-
Yeah, and
Family.
I thought,
Yeah.
okay, that much longer, those tapes going to rot on the reels, those old things. And so I thought, and there's a little, so I thought, this is something we got to preserve. And so it was, and thinking about it afterward, we should have talked it through and I told her this how much it is, but then I just kind of, I just bulldozed it through and I wanted to do this. And then
But you know what? We've both been enjoying the tapes
Yeah,
now
we have,
for the
yes.
last couple of weeks, and we've been sharing them with family members who are in the tapes, and his dad's in a lot of the tapes. And so, I mean, it's just, they're beautiful treasures that we didn't even realize we had.
Right.
But so we both value the same thing. It's just, you're going to put the money towards it or not. So.
And then, I got to tell something about you then.
Oh, boy.
Whenever we walk through a department
about.
store,
I don't know where this is going.
Nana here, with the 6 grandkids now, she can't walk by the little kitty in the baby clothing section. And I'm trying to grab her arm and pull her this way. And I said, honey, resist. I say, resist. But no, her love
The
language
force is too strong
is
with
giving.
this one. I'm sorry.
That's kind of her love language, giving and receiving
Yeah.
gifts. And so okay, it's really important to her that she pick up something for her grandchild. And so, Anyway, I let her go sometimes.
And so,
sometimes.
yeah, it's where your values are, and to talk them through.
But
Give and take a little
understanding it.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A little bit of give and
take
take.
communication. Yeah.
Understanding each other's values.
absolutely.
They say the two things that give us the greatest challenge in life that we get the least education about is relationships and money.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so 4 things that I kind of think about this is it's an assignment for us to get this right. So we need to put some time into it, right? And we are through that assignment, right? We find alignment, right? And so when all right, now we've assigned ourselves and we've aligned ourselves, right? At some point, we need to refine that because the initial thoughts aren't going to work when we get practical. And then over time, we change. And so it goes from, assigned to aligned to refined to a whole new design.
Oh, okay. I wondered where the next one was going to go. That's good design.
Yes.
There's wisdom and then there's rhyming wisdom. Another level.
Yes, it's another level completely. I mean,
Okay.
that's what we got Mike for. Okay, okay.
I'm going to have to write those down
But
during a break.
We'll give you credit for it.
I need
Okay.
a little graphic that comes up. Mic drop. Mic
Yeah,
drop.
there we go.
Mic drop.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Okay.
Good stuff, guys. Okay.
So you stay with us because
Yeah.
there's more Better Us coming.
Won't cost you anything.
That was good.